Hello and welcome everyone. I know we're a few minutes late getting going, but trust me, it's going to be so exciting. We are here for the Q&A for Somatic Dance for Emotional Alchemy, the magic of movement for wellness, inner balance, unbridled passion, and limitless joy. I'm Carrie Hernandez with the Shift Network, and it is my absolute pleasure to be your host as we explore the teachings of Bernadette Pleasant and address questions about her upcoming course, which begins on Wednesday, August 5th at 9 a.m. Pacific. And if you're unable to join us live, you can still participate in this course, and I'm going to explain a little bit more about that later. But first, I want to introduce our guest. Bernadette Pleasant is the creator of the Emotional Institute and FEM, a mind-body wellness program. She has spent a lifetime exploring creative visualizations and celebrations of the human form, from sensual dance to somatic healing, with certifications in emotion-centered coaching, NIA technique, NIA 5 stages, ageless grace, pole dance, somatic healing, Reiki, and integrated energy therapy, and studies in African, tribal, and free dance. She promotes emotional freedom through movement and empowerment. It is my great pleasure. Please join me in welcoming Bernadette. Welcome, Bernadette, and I believe you're going to start off by leading us in an opening practice. Hi.
I am going to start off by an opening practice because it's what my body needs, and always check in with your bodies first. Since I teach that, I know that we're going to do that. So join me if you will. I want you to not only join me, but Babadan Babatunde. He's going to pour some sound into the room, placing his hands, healing hands on those drums. I want you to take in a breath. I want you to invite in breath through movement. I want you to usher breath in through your body and allow it to fill all the way down to your toes. We're going to take a few breaths in. Come on with me. Take a breath in. A deep breath in. Come on, take another one. To massage breath into the body, ushering it in. I want you to allow some breath to come into your arm, your right arm or left arm. How might your arm look if it were breathing easy and with flow? Allow it to move into your hip. That same arm, that same hip. Feeling more ease and less tension with every breath. Doesn't matter how you're moving, just allow it to come in. Let it come through the whole leg, through your toes, feet. I want you to allow breath to be a celebration. Invite it into your hips. How do breathing hips look? Until there's no separation between your movement, your flow, and your breath. Invite the other arm in to play. Not judging it, not giving a care what direction it goes in. Allow it to play. Bring in that hip on that side, all the way down to your toes. Breathe. Now I want you to invite breath into your tailbone. Take big breaths, loud breaths, breaths that feel and sound like celebration. Allow it to trickle up your spine, into your shoulders. Allow it to land on your face and the top of your head. How might your hair move if it were breathing? I want to invite you to take this moving, breathing body into a bit of an emotional tour. We're going to explore some emotions with our breathing bodies. If you are listening to me out there, and you are, do not stop moving your body. Our bodies inform us, particularly when we are in motion. Doesn't matter what that motion looks like. I invite you to start to take up space. Whatever space looks like for you, maybe that's spreading your legs. Maybe that's pushing your hips out to the right and left, front and back. I want you to be complete with your movement. Leave nothing behind, but let it be what feels good to you. What does it feel like to consider dancing your heart? Allowing it to breathe. Allowing it to play with those drums. Not just the front part of your heart, the sides, the back. Invite the movement of what freedom would feel like. The freedom you desire. Does your freedom look like play? Whatever your freedom looks like, it looks good on you. I want you to play with freedom. Take up massive amounts of space. It feels good. It feels really good. I want to know where it feels good in your body. Right now, my hips feel really alive. Whatever part of your body feels good, pop it in the chat. We want to know what you are feeling in your body. What freedom feels like. How much space are you able to take up with freedom? Can you play with it? Particularly if it's awkward, play even harder with it. I'm going to invite you to play and take up space, whatever that is for you. sitting in a room, can you imagine your energy being felt outside of that room because you filled it? Amazing what happens when you take up massive amounts of space. When you come back fuller, you come back feeling more all right and turned on and confident. That's what I'm feeling. I trust that that's what you're feeling too. Thank you for taking up space. As you breathe, as you take up the space in anything you're doing today, I encourage you to be fuller, more alive in it. Imagine there's drums playing and powering you up, giving you the energy, nourishing you into more and more and more greatness. Let's use our time well. Let's use it full. Let's be in the fullness of who we are. All right, I feel better.
Oh,
thanks, Baba.
thank you, Baba Don. Oh, and thank you so much, Bernadette. And what a beautiful invitation to take up space and to feel your freedom. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, well, we have much excitement, and we're going to spend the rest of our time together exploring questions for Bernadette as we prepare for her video course, Somatic Dance for Emotional Alchemy, which begins Wednesday, August 5th at 9 a.m. Pacific, which is a great morning time for those of you in the morning or in the evening, wherever you are. What a great time to start moving. So please visit our website, which is somaticdancecourse.com. One more time, that's somaticdancecourse.com to learn more about this 7-module course. And you also find a link to register. So let's get started with some questions. First, thank you to all you who sent your questions ahead of time through our webcast. And for those of you joining us live right now, please go ahead and type in your questions into the chat and we'll read those aloud as well. All right, our first question, actually, we had several questions coming along the same lines, and that is overall asking, how will we be guided to access our emotions and then connect those emotions to movement?
I love this question. I love that there are several questions all along the same vein. So what I find is that when the body is engaged, and it needs to be because it always is, our beautiful thinking minds sometimes rule out the information that happens from the neck down. We are whole beings. There is nothing that happens that we don't feel in our body. If someone thinks of peace or serenity, that's a thought, but then our bodies relax into that thought. If something has caused us frustration or anger, we'll feel there's a somatic experience happening. There's a tightness that happens in the body. So the learning is always happening. We have a thought, we learn something, we read something, we witness something, and our bodies have a reaction. Now, movement, I rather than dance, it's because dance is generally something taught, like you're teaching how to move. What I do, what we create, Baba Don and I, what we create is a container where we are giving space for what is being felt and experienced in the body, in the mind, to move through the body so that we are connected. We don't exist from here up. We're integrating all of who we are and just having more emotional intelligence because we are aware of something, how it feels in our body. And in a culture where emotions are, the show of emotions isn't celebrated, or we don't see great examples of that. We see shutdown. We see people who are managing emotions, or trying to. It's not going well. But rather than feel the emotion and move the emotion, it's more acceptable to medicate it or ignore it, or shop it away, or have some other vice. But what we're going to do is engage in it, make it our a dance partner, and just move with that realness, so that we are fully integrated beings, and and we live holistically. It's the problems come when we try to chop off something. So this work is about acknowledging feeling, emotion, and moving it or stirring it, just so that we have a very full experience of the emotion, whatever it is. No judgment of it, just moving it.
Beautiful. It sounds like you're expressing a way that it's presencing, to be present with it, and through the music is I'm hearing that, that'll be part of the experience. Is that correct?
Indeed, it will. It will always be a part of the experience. Um, it's a marriage of the two, because when I show up, all of me shows up. I'm not interested in lopping off a part. I want to have fluidity in my body, flow, which means the connection of learning about things, and no longer shaming how that feels in my body, but giving voice to that, so that I can show up fully, personally, and then to others.
Beautiful. Our next question actually is touching a bit on that. Ania is asking how she can help women, as an instructor herself, to feel comfortable with feminine, sensual, sexy body movements, so that they don't judge themselves as being too free or inappropriate because of society or our upbringing, that we were taught not to express ourselves so freely within the movement of our body and in front of other people. So she again is asking, how will we address those maybe stereotypes or feelings?
Well, I think, thank you. I really appreciate that question, because it's real. It's real. I mean, there's movement and there's movement. And there's a time and a place. And what I teach is, first of all, it's through example. That I think the answer that I would give would be through example. As an embodied mover, and when I'm training other teachers to do the modality that I lead and teach, our bodies have to be the example of what's possible. It's not just the words that pour out through our mouth, but it's how we articulate movement in our body and freedom in our body. We've learned very well how to shut it down. It's so much so that it becomes seriously a concern of how do we even turn it up and on, this very natural thing. So I think it's, I'm in this moment, I'm thinking of a child. We learn to be shut down. We don't come that way. Children move about and play very freely. They are expressive beings. It's not until someone is molding their mind and how they view something that shame is brought in. So what I would encourage is to challenge the thoughts out there. I'm not suggesting that people put themselves in unsafe situations. What I am suggesting is this body is yours. It's yours, and freedom with it is necessary, because I've seen what not having freedom with it, what that causes, the bitterness, the frustration, and those are the lighter ailments, if you will, that come with not being fully expressed. But through example, through celebration of what our bodies can do and what feels good in our bodies, I think it's high time that we stop caring about those who shamed and teach them a thing or two about what's possible.
Thank you. All right, our next question with some excitement here is, can you walk us through the basic format of what your class sessions will be like? There's curiosity, will it be mostly movement based? And what else should people be planning for your course?
I love this question because my classes, if anybody who has ever experienced a class with me, there will be no basic formats. Basic format, there's nothing basic about me, okay? So what I will say is that there will always be a component of movement, and movement, what movement is for one person is completely another experience for another. It's what your body is capable of doing and feels like doing in that moment, and how you experience that particular emotion. So if someone may want to stay in their chair, somebody else may be painting the walls in their space, and it's all perfect. It's not a dance class. It is learning to integrate emotion through movement. If I'm angry and I want to do this, and like that feels very right for me, rather than trying to calm that, have that. Allow the reason why we use the drums. This may be another question coming up, but the reason why we use the drums, because they're alive, and they're healing, and we all are at different places in our expression, our movement, our motions, our healing, but those drums meet you right where you are. And whether you move a hair or 6 miles, it's all worthy of a freaking parade, because it's forward motion. It's a choice to feel and move something. So there will always be a component of movement and feeling and noticing in the body. There will also be sounding. How does a particular emotion cause you to, where does it land? Maybe it causes sound, or it's an invitation to do different things. There will be some lecturing. There will be lots of how do you feel it in your body, and just somatic exercises and meditations. There will be those as well.
Thank you for that overview. All right, just to catch you up if you're just joining us, we're here with Bernadette Pleasant, learning about her course, Somatic Dance for Emotional Alchemy, which begins on Wednesday, August 5th, 9 a.m. Pacific. And you can log on to somaticdancecourse.com to get more details and to register. All right, our next question is asking, I feel really shy moving my body in front of others. I know I shouldn't care, but this is really deeply rooted. Could this course help me feel more free and confident? I'd love your thoughts. Thank you.
I love your shy. I love your shy. Shy folks are my favorite. So it's very valid question, and I understand. I'm going to brag here. I've been told during online courses that someone felt like it was just the two of us in the room. So, yay, how wonderful to be able to reach through the screen and with many people sharing the class, where it feels like it's just an intimate moment together. I invite you to consider always consider you're shy, and allow that shy person that lives in you to come to class and to show up however they want, however they need. If they need to hide a little bit, maybe it's a little too much. If they need to, I don't know, wear a hood, like anything that feels protective for you, do a whole lot of that. And it's all perfect. So, yeah, however you need to come to take care of yourself, do that, and do it, like, pour it in so much to overflow. All of what, maybe you need to wear 7 layers to show up to class. maybe you need to take class and face the opposite direction. Check in with your body, see what it needs, and give to overflow to what it needs.
Thank you for that invitation for anyone who might be feeling a little more reserved. And so thank you for that beautiful invitation. Our next question is from Shirley asking, do you recommend doing this movement in front of a mirror?
Oh, I recommend doing everything in front of a mirror, Shirley. I think I think yeah, I think it'd be fun. I think that's a whole next level. And the fact that you even ask, the answer is hell yeah, because that's a vulnerability piece that sort of comes in the higher level program. So the fact that you would ask that, I think absolutely do that. And I think it adds new dimension. You're already thinking uh, broader and with great depth. So yes, yes, yes. Now I wonder how the last question, the shy person would feel in a mirror. Can you see how that person may not be comfortable doing that? And Shirley here is like, mirrors, it's awesome. And I love the range right there. And that's proof positive of you do it the way that feels great to you.
Angela asks our next question. Um, how, um, how is trauma stored in the body? And in this class, how do we release it through movement? Will there be guided practices for this?
Yes. The answer is yes. There will be guided practices for this. So trauma is stored in our bodies. There is no way, I'll give you an example, that my mother could give birth to me in the 60s here in the United States as a Black woman to this baby, me, without me inheriting her fear, her concern, her worry. The trauma, I was born into it. So there wasn't, and then of course life happens and there are other events that happens. So what happens when the body is traumatized, when something has occurred and caused a shaming, a shutdown, we are no longer the whole full beings that we are. And whether that is perceived or an actual event, it lives in the body the same way. So what it causes is a kind of shutdown, a kind of shielding, protection is built in. It's like a hardened layer of skin. And I'm noticed what's happening in my body, for example, right now, as I even think about trauma, just imagine when you think of whatever could have traumatized you, I'm looking down because it creates this sort of cower effect or steely. I mean, it can show up in different ways, but there's either a looking away or a not looking away because like warding off. So, or anything in between, quite honestly. But looking at what we are feeling, putting attention on it, noticing that there's hurt or anger or frustration, that I'm afraid to be confident because this. Practicing makes this work. Baby steps, tiny, tiny, tiny baby steps, one drumbeat at a time. Just allowing yourself to build up that muscle of moving with it in a different way, having a different relationship to the experience, and finding more and more spaciousness and freedom in our bodies. So yes, by all means, there will be, we will move through, we will talk about things throughout the 7 various modules. We will, each one of those modules are places where trauma could certainly come up or exists in our individual bodies or life experiences, but we'll be moving with those things. Yeah.
Thank you. All right, our next question is, I'm a bit older and have some arthritis pain in my body. Can this course still work for me? Might I find it uncomfortable? And could I move from my chair and still get benefits?
Yes, by all means. Yes, thank you for this question. It is important to, this class isn't for, I don't know, sometimes people say, I'm a dancer, I want to come to your class. I don't need a dancer. This is about a human being with emotions in their bodies, and how that emotion, how to free up some space, learn something about that emotion and how we relate to it. You can do this if you needed to be in a bed, sitting on a floor, in a chair, whatever is your most comfortable way of being, in front of a mirror, whatever it is, that's your range of motion, and it is perfect. You have emotions in that state. So how do you get to be with them right there? We just find that, come as you are so welcome. And sometimes there's pain. And what I'm going to always suggest is making adjustments so that it is pleasurable for you to move, and great aftercare afterwards. So yeah, there's no range of motion that's required. The stretch is whatever your stretch is on any given day.
Our next question, it's actually asking a little bit what you were speaking to earlier, I think. It's, I'm a little bit afraid of tapping into repressed emotions since I've been really good at pushing them down for a long time. And I don't mind going deep, but I'm a bit worried about kind of being thrown off my center if I work too quickly. So are your processes kind of gentle where we can address little layers or little pieces at once?
Yes, by all means. What a great question, and how great to be so self-aware that that there's always this concern of going over the edge, and what that looks like. What I can tell you, at the end of any class, there's grounding. We will ground. It's also why we use the drums. The drums are grounding. I don't necessarily announce every stage of the class, but there are things that are put so carefully in order to take care of you emotionally, energetically, to take care of your bodies. But your mind, body, and spirit. It is important to take care of all of that, because that's who shows up, and that's who I'd love to see in class, all of you. So yeah, it's baby steps, and it's a reminder of what you are needing. Yes, things are going to stir. Things are going to stir. And that's how healing happens. But what comes to mind is that sometimes, if you can imagine being in the dark for a long time and the lights shine on, and suddenly that's painful, and it's bright and it's shocking. We won't do anything that feels like that. it is important to be gentle, take great care, and to take pause. And I'm not interested in force feeding and doing a whole lot of just shoving at you. It is really just a little bit at a time, and getting to sit with that and enjoy it. And there's a lot of time to integrate over the week, between classes, between the modules, to to sit with and come to the Facebook group and be in company of our group there. So I think it's important to have all of that so that we are taking care of mind, body, and spirit.
Thank you, Bernadette, for presencing that and the spaciousness to take good care of oneself in the process of doing work with you.
Mhm.
Absolutely. We do have time for some more questions, but before we take those, I want to share some details about somatic dance for emotional alchemy. This is going to be an enlivening and transformative 7 weeks with Bernadette Pleasant, where you'll learn how movement and dance can open you to your full range. Look at me, I'm like, open yourself to your full range of emotions and be a powerful means for expressing difficult feelings, especially during these chaotic times. The 7 module course will take place on Wednesdays, 9 a.m. Pacific, and it starts August 5th. You'll receive audio and video replays should you choose to register. You're going to receive audio and video replays, transcripts, and any other materials through our course homepage. So all the materials will be there for you to access at your leisure. I'd also like to remind you that we do offer a no-risk money-back guarantee on our courses, giving a full 2 weeks. So in this case, you can register, and up until August 19th, you can make sure you absolutely love it. All right. And as an added option, all participants are welcome to connect to a private community group on Facebook, which Bernadette just spoke of. It's part of the community building, part of the support woven in so that you can take this process exactly at your pace. And this group helps everyone stay connected with each other. And everyone who registers receives the Somatic Dance for Emotional Alchemy bonus collection. And I'll let you know that collection is Skin is a Mood. And this is a video practice from Bernadette Pleasant featuring the drumming of Baba Don, who we heard from earlier. Also, you'll receive Drum Heart Dance. This is a 2-video practice from Bernadette, again featuring Baba Don with drums. And you'll also receive Transforming Fear into Flow. This is a video dialogue hosted by Dava Haley Mitchell with Dr. Katie Hendricks. And as an added thank you, if you're able to register by midnight Pacific, July 31st, we have an additional gift, which is Grieving with Compassion, Navigating the Emotion of Grief Through a Loving Lens. This is a 2-video teaching and companion PDF with Bernadette Pleasant that will explore gentle and helpful tools to honor yourself while navigating grief or challenging times. All right, thanks for your time on that. Let's go to our next question. This one is fabulous, actually. Do I need a lot of space to move around in? I live in a small apartment, but I'd still love to participate.
You can make it work wherever you are. Filling up whatever space you have on a bed, on a chair, standing in one spot. How can you can feel, you live in that place, you can definitely move in that place by all means. In fact, your movement in that place changes and shifts the energy in it. So yeah, you can do this. You can do this, yes.
Wonderful, thank you. Our next question is perhaps from a dancer. Will you be teaching specific dance steps or moves? Will they become a type of routine that we'll need to learn?
Absolutely not, no. So for me, dance means communing with life. Trees are dancing. There is life everywhere. Every time the wind blows, there is a cacophony of dance. So when dance to me is what feels good in your spirit. And if steps feel good in your spirit, create your own and make the most amazing routine to it. But that is not that is not my definition of dance for me and for what I create. Quite honestly, I enjoy, one of the reasons that I enjoy using the beautiful hands and heart that plays that drum, Babadan, it's because it pulls out of us, and it also helps us to get out of here. So in order to remember the steps and do a routine, you have to be here to some extent. And I'm living in a place right now where I need a little less of that and more embodiment. Like, what does my body want to do right now? And because I'm always asking that question, and that's what I'm going to be inviting people to consider in the class, you can't predict that. And if you do, you've kind of narrowed the playing field. We are capable of way more. And this is about moving freedom in the body, digging, excavating for the gold. And we can't necessarily give a shit about where our left foot lands when we're doing that. So no dance moves. I know. Can I curse?
Yes.
Oh shit, I did it.
I love that invitation, and thank you for your honesty, and thank you for the invitation of really inviting what is needing to come out, what is within us. So thank you. Our next question is coming from Kristen, and she's asking the important question. Can you please explain what exactly is somatic movement?
Sure. So our bodies. I'd rather to give you a demonstration of somatic means the body, the soma, the body. Yeah, Baba starts to play those drums because I'm going to invite you to just close your eyes. Everybody out there, just close your eyes. Soften your belly, soften your front body. It's been leaning in a lot. We're going to go on a bit of an emotional tour right now. We're going to visit 3 emotions. Just hear them rain down like a fine mist. The first emotion, and I'm going to speak to what many people are feeling these days, just a few emotions. Grief. When you think of grief, how does your body want to move? Just ask it. I get a hollowness in my heart center right now. How would you move that? Ask your body what you are feeling when it comes to grief and how your body needs to move that. Just be with it and allow it to move in any way that it needs to. Notice what your toes are doing. Notice if there's any place that there's tension in the body. Take a deep breath in all the way down to your toes. Breathe, breathe, breathe it in. Tighten all the muscles in the body if you can. Squeeze. Make a lemon face and release. The next emotion I want you to allow to just fall down, just hearing the words, is confidence. Confidence. I invite you to just say to yourself 3 times, I am confident. I am confident. I am confident. Notice in your body if you are feeling something different than you felt with grief. For me, I'm feeling something across my shoulder blades. I'm feeling a spacious and broadness there. I'm feeling more erect. The body is engaged in feeling and thinking. The last emotion that we'll just tap on here is joy. But just think about joy. Imagine if you were just breathing in joy, breathing in, pulling in, squeezing in, inviting in joy. Like grabbing handfuls of it, armfuls of it, all of that joy and pulling it into your body. Notice how your body feels different than it did with grief and with confidence. Your body is this well-oiled, magnificent machine that needs to be engaged in all these things. We do so much learning through the body. Somatically means engaging and bringing it into the body, checking into the body how we are feeling. Thank you, Baba. That's somatic.
Wow, thank you for that excellent explanation. That was wonderful. Thank you, Bernadette.
I could sit here and lecture her all day long, and if we don't just breathe it in and take it in and move it, I think there's just a different way of learning it. I understand the question, and I think the combination of explaining it and moving it is such a powerful tool.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for that beautiful, beautiful response. All right, I do want to go to our next question from Susan, who is sharing. I have one very stiff knee. Will I be a good candidate for this course, which really sounds intriguing? And to be quite honest, both of my knees are very stiff.
Susan, bring your knees. Bring your knees as they are. We're going to love them up and celebrate them. And you know what? When you can't move your knees, move your elbows. It is perfect. Or maybe you are going to have full expression of your shoulders. You know what's so great, and a little secret, because we use the drums, you are actually, because we use the drums, you actually experience whether your body moves. I'll give you we're going to do a little somatic experience right now. I'm not going to move. Let's all just get still, but just breathe and feel in. Baba, we're going to step into anger, emotion of anger. Thank you. The emotion of joy. It's hard to be still. The emotion of desire, lust. The emotion of play and giddiness. Thank you. reason why we use those drums is you're getting it in so many different layered ways. So whether you move your body or just breathe in the sounds, it all works. You're getting it somehow. So yes, I understand there are restrictions. Sometimes our bodies are healing. They're healing, and we're needing to be gentle with them. It is perfectly okay to bring whatever's stiff, whatever is not functioning properly yet, whatever is healing. One thing I know is those drums help heal the body. So yes, bring the stiffness. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you for another example of really sharing how we can, whatever, wherever we are, it sounds like we will be met. We can be
Yeah.
met here. So
Yes.
thank you so much. And I am looking at aware of our time. And Bernadette, I'm curious, what are you most looking forward to sharing in this class with those who will be taking the journey with you?
Oh God, everything. Like, um, I think what I'm most excited about sharing is I really geek out on emotions and how they affect our bodies, and really going from an emotionally half-assed life to the badass. So the journey of bringing in life, bringing in acceptance, and pouring in more spaciousness, more fertile ground for living a well-lived life, a well-expressed life. And we'll get to do that with so many different aspects of our lives. The way the modules are broken up, they impact these different parts of our lives. And so I'm excited about the arcing journey of seeing someone who may show up shy, saying like, by the end of this class I was all over the mirror doing this, or I found so much freedom that, I realized I used to shame this part, and now I celebrate that part of me. I've Shame causes us to take up less space, and either mentally or physically, and or using our voices, which is why we do sounding in this. So I think for me, the excitement, what I really just have a joygasm with is seeing expression fully, and just being so right with that you feel this visceral experience in your body, and how that it comes across the screen. And it starts inside, of course, so it's our individual things, but I just thinking that I will never know how far reaching an unleashed human, um, how the difference they're making in their families, in their relationships, in their workplaces, in their societies, in the world. Just knowing that we've seen what happens here, and now just the thought of seeing that beautiful peony start to just open up in fuller and fuller and fuller to full celebration. So that I'm excited about seeing that, and that can happen on a bed, in a chair, with sore knees, shy, in front of a mirror, with dance steps. All of it is absolutely perfect because it's their own individual journeys, but I get to feel the energy of that hunger and that exploration, and someone who's so deeply curious to gut that stuff and do better with it.
Oh, that's fabulous. And thank you. And the invitation, I'm so excited for the invitation of this journey with you, and hearing the beautiful progression of stages and the opening. And as you described, this beautiful unfurling peony.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much. Goodness. And I thank all of you for joining us on Somatic Dance for Emotional Alchemy, which begins August 5th. Again, please visit somaticdancecourse.com. One more time, you can visit somaticdancecourse.com to learn more and to register. And if you do so by July 31st, you will receive a bonus thank you of 2 video teachings and a companion PDF titled Grieving with Compassion, Navigating the Emotion of Grief Through a Loving Lens with Bernadette Pleasant. Bernadette, do you have any final words for our listeners as we get ready to wrap up?
If anybody out there has ever felt that they were too much and shut themselves down as a result, because when you're told too much, most people don't say, I got more. They actually tend to go more inward. I certainly did. Your too much is welcome here. Your too much turns me on, it thrills me, and this is a place where we get to play in that arena and celebrate it. If you are afraid of being too much, come on, come play, come play. We're going to jump into every one of the modules. So much fun and play. We're going to have a good time. We're going to learn. We're going to move our bodies. We're going to express some joy, some anger, we're going to be all right with whatever needs to come up. We're going to bring all of who we are into this, and we're going to walk out of that course and into our lives fuller. So I'm looking forward to doing that together with you. Are we closing? Can I just I want to dance. I feel like moving, but I'm not sure if you're done.
I would love for you to close us out with your movement and thank you everyone for joining us.
What comes to mind is we're going to tuck this emotion of joy. We're going to go to church, y'all. Emotional church. Joy is my birthright. I want you to just say it. Joy is my birthright. Come on up into your cameras. Joy, not that I can see you, is my birthright. Joy.
Joy.
My birthright. I want you to start to play that in your body. It's my birthright. Joy. My birthright. I want you to dance with it. Joy. My birthright. And start to take up space. It's my birthright. Joy. Where would you like to put joy onto your body? Where does your body need more joy? Anywhere. Leave no place out is my birthright. Joy is my birthright. Welcome joy in. Joy is my birthright. Joy. Comb your hair with it. Joy. Joy. I want you to move throughout your day like joy is your birthright, because it is.